Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Aditya here. Today we are talking about two incredibly important features for securing your AWS account. That is IAM password policies and multi-factor authentication. In shortcut we call it as MFA. These are your first lines of defense against unauthorized access. So if you want to protect your AWS account, then you have to use AWS password policies and multi-factor authentication to make it more secure. Okay, so these two things we are going to discuss in this session, and learning these two things is essential so that you will strengthen your AWS account security. First up, first up, let's discuss IAM password policies. Strong passwords are the foundation for good security. So if you set a strong password, you are ensuring a higher security. And AWS allows you to set up robust password policy for all your IAM users. AWS allows you AWS allows you to set up robust password policies for all your IAM users. This is crucial for enforcing strong password practices across the organization. Okay, and what we can configure, right? We can configure like minimum password length. So we can set a minimum password length. So you define how long passwords must be. Longer passwords are generally more secure, right? So you can enforce. You should have 8 characters, or it should definitely, or it should must have 10 characters password or 6 characters password, right? Ho- If the password is a long password, then it is very hard for a hacker to hack your password. And also you can enforce few character types also, right? Like uppercase letters. So you are enforcing that your password should or must contain a uppercase letter or uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and non-alphanumeric characters like at the rate, hash, right, dollar. So if we add these combinations, your password will become more secure than a normal plain password using some characters or numbers, right? The chances of compromising your password is very less when compared to is very less if you follow this password policy. And you can allow IAM users to change their own passwords also. So once the root user creates a password for an IAM user, and we can allow them to change their passwords, right? You can allow your IAM users to change their own passwords, and which is a good practice for self-service and security, definitely, right? Instead of controlling passwords by a root user, it's if a user creates their own password, it should be secured in his terms, right? And even root user also doesn't aware of his password. So we will allow the IAM users to change their passwords, and we can set a password expiration also. So for example, like every 90 days, we will expire the password, right? So that the users has to reset their password. So you can set a requirement for users to change their password after a certain period, like every 90 days, right? And this helps to rotate the credentials in the sense passwords, and reduce the risk of a password is compromised for a long time. For example, if you are using the same password from years and years and somebody knows your password, right? And if they have some intention to hack, right, they can use your password. But if it is rotated, right? But if it is rotating for a particular frequency, for example, for every 90 days, right? In the long run, it's very hard to compromise, right? In the long run, the chance of compromising your password is very less. And also, we can prevent password reuse. So, for example, if you are using the same password, the if you are resetting the when, for example, when the expiration period came, you reset the password with the previous password itself, right? In that case, you are using the same password again, even though we are expiring that. So instead of that, right, we can prevent the password reuse. Even we can prevent the password reuse. This prevents users from simply cycling through a few old passwords. You can specify how many previous passwords cannot be reused. For every 90 days, we are changing the password, and if you try to use the previous password, right, then uh, that means you are repeating the same password. So instead of doing that, we can prevent the users not to give the same password and again. We can specify that uh, we can prevent that by using this prevent password reuse option. Okay, so this is about the password policy, and following this password policy will make your IAM passwords to be in secure place, right? To make the account insecure, to make that account is secured and very less chance to compromise. Okay, now even with strong passwords, there's always a risk. Passwords can be guessed, hacked, or stolen. That's where multi-authentication factor MFA comes in. Definitely right. So if passwords compromised, even though you are if your password compromised, you are not in the expiration period, right? And the other guy can use the password to log into the account. Even though we followed a strong password policy, it's easy to compromise password. Somebody can see your password and they can reuse it. So even though they are unable to hack it, right? They can, if somebody sees your password, they can easily open your account, right? Passwords are easily compromised, even if they are unable to hack it. So to enforce more security, multi-factor authentication will be useful, and we'll see how this multi-factor authentication we'll see how this multi-factor and we'll see how this multi-factor authentication works. Think of MFA as adding an extra lock to your door. Instead of just something you know, like your password, MFA requires something you own, like a security device. So I will show you the so you use your password plus also a code from your security device, that is MFA. So by combining these two, you are going to log into your account. So that means not only providing simple password is not enough, you have to provide another code from a physical device, right? For example, your mobile, and there are other devices also you can use that. So using those devices, you can able to generate a code. By using that code, you can able to log into your AWS account securely. So it's an extra layer of security. So after the password, we are adding one more layer, obviously. And users can change configurations or delete resources. Definitely, right? For example, if your password got compromised and some users used that password, log into your account, and they can change configuration and they can delete your resources, right? That is very dangerous. So to log in, you need your password. And also, if you add this MFA, you will get a unique code generated by your MFA device. And the main benefit, your password, uh, if your password is stolen or compromised, your account is still protected. Without the second factor, the attacker can't get in, and this is especially critical for you. Okay, and definitely we need MFA for all the users, especially root users, and it can be applicable to IAM users also. It's always advisable to use MFA for root users and IAM users also. And root account and highly privileged IAM users, you absolutely want to protect them with IAM. Okay, so finally, for blood, for your better understanding, see this. MFA, multi-factor authentication, is nothing but you have to provide your password, that is something you know, and plus security device, something you own. So this security device will generate a code and you don't know that code in beforehand. This security device will generate that for you. So every time it will generate a unique code. So by combining these two only, you are able to log into your AWS account, and your AWS account is more secure now than earlier. Okay, so if you see this flow, you are a user, you are providing your password, and by not simply and we are not allowing just simply password, we are enforcing MFA. So if we enforce MFA, we have to provide code now. Along with password, the user has to provide code, and by using these two, you are able to log in securely to your AWS account. Okay, so that's the advantage of using multi-factor authentication, and you are seeing these multi-factor authentications nowadays in so many applications, right? So it's always advisable and recommended to use multi-factor authentication along with your passwords. Moving on to the next slide, we'll discuss about the multi-factor authentication MFA device options in AWS. The first one is virtual MFA. So you will have physical and virtual, and we'll discuss about virtual multi-factor authentication devices in this session, in this slide. AWS offers several MFA device options. The most common and easiest to set up are virtual MFA devices. So these are very convenient, and in fact these are very widely used. So you can use your mobile app, or you can use your system's browser extensions, right, to access this MFA device. And this is virtual MFA, so that it will generate an unique code in your mobile or your laptop, right? Simply. So for simply like virtual MFA device is nothing but mobile apps generating codes, yeah. And for some examples are Google Authenticator. So you can install this Google Authenticator in your phone, and it will generate a token like this. For example, you can install an app called Google Authenticator from the App Store or Apple Store, and you can able to generate tokens like this. And you have one more example called Athi, and you can use this Athi for multi-device support also. Multiple tokens also you can generate for multiple accounts. So this is the app called Athi, and you can install this Athi from App Store or Apple Play Store, and you can start using these devices to generate a unique security code for your account. Along with your password, you have to provide this code to securely log into your account. Okay, and this Google Authenticator is a popular mobile app. It generates time-based one-time passwords. It generates time-based one-time passwords. Those are usually we call it as TOTP, time-based one-time passwords. And Authy, right, as we discussed, is similar to the Google Authenticator, but often preferred because it supports multiple tokens. For example, this only supports single account, but it supports multiple accounts, right, on a single device, and can be synced across multiple devices. So not only mobile, you can sync this to your laptop, right? So multiple devices you can sync this Authy, but Google Authenticator still work for a single account. So if you want to add MFA for multiple accounts like your root user, your IAM accounts, then Authy is the best choice. And moving on to the next slide, that is MFA device options in AWS security key. So now we are going to discuss about physical MFA devices. So earlier we have seen virtual MFAs. Those are nothing but apps which are generating codes for you. But now we have to use some physical device, right? Usually these physical MFA devices are, since those are physical, they are highly secure. So even your mobile app, right? Your mobile can be highly secure, and that physical device you have to carry with you, and you have to plug into your system or laptop so that you can able to generate a code, right? Otherwise you are unable to generate a code. So these are physical devices, like an YubiKey by Yubico. So there is an YubiKey in Amazon. You can go and search for YubiKey, and this YubiKey is used for generating this EB, this YubiKey used as an universal second factor security keys, which are nothing but MFA device. So it will generate multiple tokens, right? You plug them into your computer's USB port or tap them to your phone if NFC enabled. Okay, and they are very secure and convenient, and a single security key can support multiple root and IAM users. So, like Authy, right? Authy will support multiple accounts, right? Multiple root and IAM users by using a single app. Similarly, the single key can be used for multiple accounts. It will generate tokens for multiple accounts. Okay, so this is how the YubiKey will look like. I took this screenshot from Amazon, and you can go to amazon.com and see how much it costs, right? You just need to plug in to your computer or your mobile, and it will generate a token to you, and using that token you can able to log in to your AWS account. Like you have to use your password plus this YubiKey generated token, then only you can able to securely access your AWS account. So this is one of the physical device option. And moving on to the next slide, that is hardware key fob. So finally, for highly regulated environments, so it's like if it is a very highly regulated environment where they are not allowing to use a mobile app for MFA, or even this key, since this key has to be moved, right, or plugged in to a system or mobile, right? In that case, hardware key fob MFA devices will be used. Okay, so these are also the physical devices that generate codes typically provided by to these are also the these are also these are also physical devices that generate codes like YubiKey, right? Like the security key which we discussed in the previous slide, that is universal second factor key or YubiKey, right? You have to plug into a computer, it will generate a code. But this one is a separate hardware device which will generate code by its own. So you don't need to plug in, but it will generate code every time. So those are specialized hardware for specific needs, and these are typically these are typically provided by third-party vendors like Gelmento and SurePass ID. So we have third-party vendors like Gemalto. We have third-party vendors like Gemalto and SurePass ID, and these are the hardware key fob MFA devices available. And you can go and search in the Google. You will get the more information of these devices. So simply these devices will generate a physical token for us, and by using that token along with our password, you can able to access your AWS account securely. Okay, this is more secure than YubiKey also. And these are the images. So this is one of the device from Gemalto, and also this is device from Surpass ID, and you can see that they are generating OTPs. By using these OTPs, you can able to access your AWS accounts. But before that, you have to set up these devices. Before that, you have to set up these devices. And in conclusion, implementing and and in conclusion, implementing a strong password policy and in conclusion, it is essential to secure your AWS account and AWS environment by implementing a strong password policy and enabling MFAs are two of the simplest yet most effective way to enhance the security posture of your AWS environment. Don't skip these steps. Okay, you need to enable MFA, especially for root and at least admin users, if not all the IAM users, at least admin users, then your account is more secured. Okay, then your account is more secured. And these are the fundamental security practices you need to follow and advisable and recommended. And thanks for watching. If you found this and thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell and see you in the next video.